As the world is grappling with COVID-19, we have heroes who fought intellectually to make sure that Uganda has been brought on map. We have heroes whose voices are remembered just on our radio stations and different media houses. We have heroes whose voices touch lives. And today we have our very own Uncle CD Angulu Oruru, who has been a media personality for quite a long time. He worked with different media houses, including Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. He's a very instrumental person, and everyone loves who he is and would love to be him. We are at his home and we bring you his full story of the life, the journey, and then the career. I'm Norman Destiny Adjarachen. Yeah.
You are welcome.
Thank you so much.
You are most welcome. I'm called CD Angulu Oruru, Charles Dickens Angulu Oruru. Otherwise, my petty name on the air used to be Uncle CD. But my full name is Charles Dickens Angulu Oruru. I'm now in my 70th year. And all along these years, I've been a broadcaster, a radio broadcaster. I started the profession in 1975, and most of you are not there.
True that.
In fact, all of you are not there.
Yeah.
Even some of your parents were not there. Yeah. I joined by that time it was called Radio Uganda. It became Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. I joined in 1975 through the Public Service Commission. By that time they used to advertise in the papers. Then you just apply and they call you for the interview. Then I went and did the interview. And I was one of the lucky few. Out of the 218 interviewees, we were taken 18 of us. And I happened to be one of them. That was in 1976. So I got a stint there. Unfortunately enough, I was in 1976. I was sponsored to the School of Journalism. By that time it was in the History of Public Administration, but now it is called Uganda Management Institute.
You mean by that time that you went and applied, they absorbed you into the system?
Yeah, exactly.
You mean you're not yet you never studied that course?
No.
Okay.
No.
You just had that passion.
From my school leaver. Then I worked for 1 year. Then they sponsored us to the School of Journalism. And I studied the diploma in journalism for 3 years. 76, 77, and I qualified in 78. But during those days, I used to work and go to school and work in the evening. Stay in school and work in the evening for all those 3 years.
So, Uncle CD, what motivated you towards this course, towards the profession, you know?
Actually, by that time, you know, there were very few. In fact, there was only one radio station which belonged to the government, and that was Radio Uganda. And I happened to be the son of a county chief. So, you know, the radios were not common. So, my father used to own a radio, and the whole village were cramming in our home in the evening to listen to news. So I got interested. All the time, the old man would tell me that, go and put on that radio. In fact, what people used to do was to just listen. Mostly it was news.
I think that was fun.
News. Yeah. So I got used to it. I became very interested. When I saw that advert, I just applied completely through the Public Service Commission.
So that was the breakthrough.
Yes.
And then, in most cases, people do say journalism, people who are in that course, the people who are into that profession, they're ill-mannered. You find out that the life that they live does not conform to the terms and conditions of the society.
On the contrary, by that time, the radio was very popular because it was the only means of communication between the government and the whole country. So the radio was very popular. And the most popular program there was the news actually. Unlike nowadays when people play music. Actually, I remember when I was in a radio Uganda, we had just one musical program. It was called Listeners Favorites, which used to come only on Saturdays and in the afternoons or even Saturdays. Otherwise, all the programs were educative and informative. We had the news and we had educational programs. All the subjects, women's program, children's program, students program, and all those agriculture, all those, it was all educative.
So
it was more or less teaching.
Okay.
And you cannot go on the air without a script. It's what they call a script. In fact, you make it as a lesson, a teaching lesson. And after writing that thing, you pass through your boss. The boss has got to approve it and stamp it. Then you go and broadcast within that limit.
Yeah. Then another
so mostly it was educational.
Can you compare it with the current broadcast?
Currently, when the radios became very many, the first people who started joining radio were musicians, were DJs. For example, in Ilangu here you talk of DJ Kakaba, DJ Cool is still there. There is this DJ, this man who also died, DJ Super. Mostly it was musical. In fact, it was a commercial radio station which jumped up, and then they mainly concentrated on music and then advertisement because they had to make money. But that one was a government radio station, and mostly it was informational and educational, and that is what we used to do mostly. It was proper teaching. Proper teaching. You have got to make scripts throughout. You can't go on the air without a script. You just can't go in the studios without a script. You got to have the script.
Then again,
and you have the topics you're talking about.
How did you balance work with family? Because most of the times, if you're to see most journalists right now, work tend to overcome, and people tend to put much of their efforts on work than the family. How did you balance?
Yeah, by that time I was also still a teenager like you people. I was not married. Actually, I got my wife in 1978 after graduating from the School of Journalism. So it was mostly class work. We would stay in the school in the morning and then go in the evening for practicals. But before we went there was what they call induction course, which we did in the broadcasting studio station itself. There was a special studio for trainees. So it's just a normal studio, just like any other studio, but only that we didn't go on. So we record exactly most of the programs we used to do were recorded, because the advantage of recording a program is that you can correct it. In fact, you record a program, take it to your boss, you listen together, and you correct it, you edit it until the final one, which is absolute. Then they take it to approve it for broadcast. Unlike nowadays, when somebody can just jump from one of the motorcycle, go to the studios, and then he broadcast. No, it was not like that. And the topics, you just cannot go to the studios without it. If you are going to talk about cotton growing, you got to do some research about cotton growing, and we got all the facts, and you write them, and then you go and read them. You see? And if there are some experts there, you interview them and include them in the program. And then the final thing which was going on air was actually
The cream de la cream.
Yes, perfect one. Not anything. That is why in the studios you could not even hear somebody sneezing or laughing or doing that. No, it was not a joke. It was real teaching. Real teaching. Because whatever you make there, when you are recording, when you are editing, you remove it. You remove it. So it was perfect. And I think that one is still what is happening in some international radio stations like the BBC and whatever. Let's see what they do. But nowadays, the problem with the radios nowadays, there is too much time wasting. Too much. Our programs there used to be 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Very few programs were 1 hour. Very few programs were 1 hour.
So you want to say that the current programs in the current settings of the
setup is wastage of time. So much wastage. Somebody comes and starts to greet everybody in the whole district or even the whole region. How are you there? I say, I'm giving you 2, 3 the people, you greet them and do what, play music and whatever. No.
So what you're trying to say is that no
like
content.
That. Yeah. The content was pure educational and informative. That is why people used to listen to radio so much. In fact, when these commercial radios came to air, people turned it into sort of a dancehall music. That is what people have been playing and what have you, and breaking and making jokes and what have you. But in the actual sense, broadcasting itself is a mostly informative and educational. If you see these big radio stations like BBC or Al Jazeera and what have you, or CNN, they mostly concentrate on news and then do those feature programs. I don't think entertainments are very, very rare. Like in BBC, when you hear entertainment, it's almost not there. Even in CNN, even in Al Jazeera.
Uncle CD.
So, the entertainment part also of it was very, very, very good.
With the women emancipation that has come in place, there are very many few girls or ladies in this profession. Reason being, sometimes if maybe assuming a girl goes to the father and then propose for that course, the father will not accept. What advice can you give the parents whose daughters are in this situation? They want to join media, they want to be the media personality, but the parents does not want.
Actually, very many people misconstrued the media as a means of getting spoiled, because eventually I don't know how ruffians decided to join the profession. By our time there, even dressing, you could not go to the studios in slippers or in t-shirts. No, you are not allowed. Actually, there is a dressing room. Even if you don't have a jacket, you go there and put on the station jacket and the station necktie. But you can't go there in a t-shirt, and yet the radio is blind. In fact, you would dress as if you are going on the screen. They are very serious about it. So by that time, this roughness was not very mindful, and it was difficult for ladies because mostly it was educational, and then the qualification mostly there was literature, it was arts, and you know, most ladies didn't like the literature part of it very much. But otherwise, the few ladies who went there, they succeeded very well. Very many programs, very fantastic programs which were run by ladies. Nowadays, the ladies are just at par with the men, and actually there are certain specific programs which are supposed to be produced by ladies, like women's program. Mostly the producers are ladies. So it is now an open profession for both sexes.
If you recall, what were the most joyous times you had with UBC?
It was not very smooth sailing. For me, when I joined, the dictator was already in power. There was Idi Amin. The guy took power in 1971. So when I joined in 1975, he was in power. So most of the broadcasts were directly from State House. And by that time, there was no parliament. The guy was ruling by decrees. So there were days when you would just broadcast news, and these news most of them were abusive. Abusing in these countries, especially Israel. So all these things were abusive because he was ruling the country by decrees. There was no parliament.
So you want to say that there was no joyous experience?
It was not very smooth sailing. It was not very enjoyable, because whatever you do, there must. In fact, this is what I was saying. You write the script and you take it to the boss, who are called the head of programs. He has to read through, and then you sign there that I declare that in this program there is nothing against the state in this program. Then you sign, then the boss will sign and stamp it. That's when you can go and broadcast. So it was very rigid. It was very rigid. But on the other hand also, it made us to concentrate mostly on information and educational programs, which made it very popular.
And also now, we should look at your health right now.
Yes.
Very many people, just at the twinkle of the eye, got to realize that you were not there on air. They don't know what transpired. Very few know what transpired.
Yes.
So, would like you to briefly tell us what happened.
Yeah.
And then your current situation.
What happened was in the year 2015. I was going on duty and bicycle border. So when I was negotiating the last corner to Unity FM, the last corner in front of Bank of Africa, most people know it. I had come from World Road, so I was negotiating that last corner to go to Radio Unity on Bala Road. A certain motorcycle came straight from Oyam Road, and the border had already negotiated the corner. So the guy knocked me from under the carrier of the bicycle and hit me down on the floor, and the bicycle was broken, and I was rushed to the hospital. Then when they took me there, they found I had broken hip joint. There is the bolt, the head had broken. So I was taken for surgery at the medical center. From there, I sort of recovered, but on crutches. Sometime back, Radio Unity organized a function for fundraising for me, where there was some football matches. People collected money. They wanted 6 million, and I was given that 6 million. I went to a certain physiotherapy clinic on Soroti Road there. I stayed there for 3 months. It was electronic physiotherapy. It was a machine which they used to connect on the power, and then it massage me throughout. The thing went on well for some time, but after time, it became meaningless. And after 3 months, I came back, and the thing kept on deteriorating like that, until I could no longer even stand. As you see now, I cannot stand. And because of the pain, as I told you, I overtook the painkiller until it gave me ulcers again. That one wasn't even my situation. But up to now, I'm getting some medication, but it's expensive. Because I've now resorted to taking the medicine, which is most of them is now not real medicine, but it is a food supplement, which has helped me a lot anyway. It has helped me a lot because it has very, very little side effects. Otherwise, that is what I'm doing.
So did the doctors say there's a possibility of you recovering?
The doctors all along they have been saying that, but after the operation, they have never diagnosed exactly what is making my limbs to get weaker. They thought it was a nerve, so that is why they recommended for massage. But after the massage, I failed to recover. But now the other theory is that they think the bone is the wrong type of bones, which must have been poisonous to my other body organs. And that is where I stopped, because I had to go to Kumi, but I failed to raise that money.
So how much were the doctors talking about?
To go to Kumi, they were talking about 15 million shillings. But the other operation in Lira Medical Center, it was 2.5, and it was made by Radio Unity, which I'm very grateful. They did a lot to help me. Until now, they're still supporting me. I'm very grateful for what they have done for me. Yeah.
So, what is your COVID-19 message to the people of Uganda?
The message is that this is a new disease, but as far as I know, diseases come, but it's very difficult to disappear. So, just like HIV, which came, people thought it would disappear, but up to now it is there. There are so many other diseases which cannot be cured. People have just learned to live with them, like hypertension, like this is sugar problem, diabetes, epilepsy. There are very many diseases. So my advice to the people is that we have got to learn to live with these diseases, especially when it's called a virus. Very few viruses have got the cures. Even this flu virus, you know not what it is. Mere flu has got no cure. So people have got to learn to live with it. And this one is going to be very difficult, especially in Africa. Even me, I still expect the worst. Because in Africa, you cannot, even if people say you put on masks as we are doing, you wash your hands as we are doing, there are certain African communities are too close to call. In fact, in Africa, there isn't a single day where people miss body contacts. For example, you have come here. Maybe you have washed your hands, you have put on some mask. But you will go out there, you will want to buy something. You will pull the money from your pocket. That money, you don't need to wash your hand to put the money. Even if you put the money, you are giving somebody. Somebody will have to use that money and give it to somebody, even if he has watched the sound. So it is very difficult. In the European countries, they use electronic system, but in Africa, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult, and people must be very careful about it. I hope it doesn't explain, because if you see the market, how we deal in our markets, it is congested. Everything we do in Africa here is congested, and body contact is inevitable. You go to the borehole, somebody has just pumped his water and removed it, another one will come and use the same pump. It is inevitable. So people must be very careful. Actually, we need a lot of prayers from God. Because in Africa, body contact cannot be avoided.
And then also, what advice can you give to the young journalists who are coming up and those who are in the system currently?
The young journalists, the main problem I've found with the young journalists is that maybe they have copied from their machine called the computer. There's the copying and pasting too much.
They are not original.
They are not innovative. They are not creative. For example, if you hear somebody doing a program, the same way, the same method somebody uses will be copied in another radio, and they almost want to copy word for word. So that is why if I make a mistake in Radio Unity, the mistake will almost go in all the radios in Ilang. So my advice to the young journalists is that you have very many sources of information. In fact, if it was during our time, we used to use what they call a telex machine to receive news. But nowadays, information is at your fingertips. You even have it in your phone there. You can. People get mistaken that people want to listen to this. No. The programs people listen most are now talk programs, educational programs. Broadcasting, they say a journalist is a jack of all trades, but a master of none. You are supposed to know everything, although you don't master it. You see? And then creativity. If I've done something so well, you don't need to copy me, to quote me and go and do it in another radio. You should get your own style to do it, which belongs to you. But this copying and pasting is so much. In fact, now, if you just tune in one of the radios, especially the newsreader, you almost get the same style of newsreading. There are very few boys who are original. And then another thing they are doing is they don't know that the radio is mainly educative, and they have forgotten that what you say is must be the truth, and nothing else but the truth. You can see somebody saying, I think, I don't know. With the air, they say, once in doubt, you fade to black. Once you haven't established that Angulu Oruru said this, you are not supposed to say, I heard that he said this. No. There's no speculation on air.
So you're supposed to go when you're
supposed to know the truth, and you remain answerable to it, and you are responsible, and you can defend yourself. But nowadays, if you hear the news, especially where there are figures, you can hear Radio Unity saying another figure, Radio Leader will say another figure, Voice of Land will say another figure, and even the dates. You wonder why. That's why, for example, now the story about this virus, you can find people translating what the president said differently. And another thing which the youth are doing is the language people talk on air now. In fact, I am afraid within 5 or 10 years, Lango language itself might disappear. Because most of the broadcasters, nobody can construct a sentence without putting down an English word. In fact, they find it very easy to talk English other than talking English. And yet, the only way we can maintain culture is to maintain the language. The language is so distorted that in 5 to 10 years, we shall have no language. We have a similar language, just like language. And fun enough, nobody bothers, nobody cares. You can make a blunder in the language and you get away with it. In fact, if you make a mistake in English, people will laugh at you or correct you. But in language, if you make a wrong statement, in language, nobody cares.
They'll just cheer you up.
Nobody cares. So now, I don't think these people can now even say A-E-I-O-U in language. The youth who are in radio now, if they are told to write A-E-I-O-U, Y, Bapa, Minor, I don't think they can even do that. I don't think they can spell it. Because the language is actually going, and it's going very fast. And it is the medium which is spoiling it. Instead of the media promoting it, it is the media which is destroying the language.
So what would you recommend in that angle of, culture? The media is responsible for soiling, the culture. What do you recommend?
I would recommend that every radio station must have a training wing. Before somebody goes on air, somebody must be taught what to say. And then I would prefer the station owners, I would prefer them to separate these programs. If it is a youth program, if they want it in English, it should be entirely in English. If it is a language program, it should be entirely in language, so that we promote both the languages. But to mix all these languages in one program, I don't think our old women there will understand even most of the programs now which go on here. Because you cannot get a program for 5 minutes without somebody putting their English. And mostly English are more than the language version. And the language version is the distorted ones, completely distorted. The most open one, which nobody has even bothered to correct it, is to call girls Onyira. Girls in typical language is Anyira, not Onyira. Boys are Awobe,
not Owobe.
Not Owobe. And nobody bothers. That thing has gone on like that. And it is now increasing. Things like Tekere. That thing is called Atekere. So the words are being distorted.
And you get
Yotcom, people call it Yorocom. That is not language. Language you call it Yotcom. Things like Yajo. It is Yaj. If a woman is pregnant, she's Yaj, not Yajo. You see? So these things are distorted and they go on air and nobody bothers to correct them. So with us, when we are broadcasting there, almost all whatever we say, people say, we have heard on the radio, And if people continue to do like that, people will take what comes out of the radio as a gospel truth. As you hear what they say now. Anybody can ring from anywhere and say anything. And as long as it comes on the radio, the common man will think it's the right thing. So the radio is also helping in destroying the language so much, so fast, because people are not bothered. The proprietors should have put a training wing, and then the cultural institutions also should have come in to put some such trainings. And then the books should have been written in Lango language.
True that.
And then the idea of teaching Lango language in lower primary. So many people don't want it. They want English. They don't know that for a tribe to remain, there must be a language. To identify a tribe, there must be a language.
Language.
If you don't have a language, that tribe will definitely go.
So
There
Barry,
are so
have you
many-
heard
Yeah.
the media is a major root
Yes.
of
Yeah.
cultural decadence right now?
Yeah, exactly. So that is very, very important. And the radio proprietors have left it at that. Because somebody can join the radio today and goes on the air tomorrow. I can tell you, we joined radio and we are 3 months broadcasting to ourselves, not going on air. And correcting
Mistakes.
whatever mistakes you do. You don't make mistakes on air and you go away with it. And then another problem with our broadcasters. Somebody goes to the studios, he does what he wants. No, that's wrong. That is wrong. You shouldn't go to the studio and do what you want. You go to the studios with your listeners at heart. You know, today I'm going to talk about reproductive or reproduction. Today I'm going to talk about agriculture and specifically how to grow cotton or how to grow maize. Then you consult and you go there. In fact, by that time you become an agriculturist yourself. That's why they say a journalist is a jack of all trades but a master of none.
So you're meaning we should do things that we made it in our own will,
Exactly.
not copying up someone's
No.
someone's characters or the way the person is doing their things.
Exactly. There must be a specific time or program. Like a program, a radio program, what I call a feature program or a magazine program. You are supposed to practice on this program. These minutes I'm going to introduce my program. Some of you introduce the program for 15 minutes. Just introducing the program. And some will say, I'm checking, how are you? How is that place? We are okay. How is that place? We are okay. What benefit does that have on the masses? So most of the time in these radio stations are wasted. Otherwise, if we concentrate on putting real information, educative information to our people, we have enough radio stations. People would even feel very little like this.
So
That
it's
is-
like what the radio should be doing should be bringing out programs that are very developing.
Educational.
Yeah.
So you're trying to erase the idea of music, the idea of the music must also be educational, cultural, people.
If you listen to this music, to the music itself, there are so many music which are so educational. There are so many music which are so educational. In fact, you can get music relevant to the topic you're going to talk about. See? You can get music which is relevant to that topic you are going to talk about. You see? But now, people just play music anyhow and anytime.
topic.
And talking. Most presenters now go to the studios and talk about themselves. Themselves. Yesterday I was with so and so. Yes, the other day, today, tomorrow I'm going to this place. You wait for me at this place. That is not how the radio should do. The radio is to
Should be
inform,
streamlined.
educate, and entertain. And people, unfortunately, people mistake music to The only entertainment is music. There are so many ways you can entertain your listeners without even playing music. In fact, music itself should just be an interval. If you have educated people on this thing, then you just play music when you want to change the scene of the program. But now people have made it, there are certain stations which play music 24 hours. They even say 24/7 music on station. With the broadcasting, what I would advise is, please make sure each and every day you go on air, you go with something new. You go with something new. Not coming the same day, the same way, the same week, the same month, the same thing. You must make sure that each time you are going on air, you have a new idea or something new.
That is innovative.
Innovation. It is very important. Right now, when you people have internet there, you have phones. There are so many funny stories in your phones there or in the internet, which you can give people. There are so many strange stories, but true. You can't believe it. But if you get that story and you elaborate it to a common man, they will want to listen to that program throughout. Once they know so and so is on air, they will listen to it because they know there is going to be a new thing in that. See? And another weakness is the interviews. Those who interview the listeners, panelists, most of them are very ill-informed. So, if you are to, let us say, you have invited the resident district commissioner of Oyam, you must do your research about what is Oyam in the first place. How did it start? How is it operating? Now, for example, I can give you an example. Now we are in Lira. Do you know that most of your presenters here don't know even how many sub-counties are there in Lira district? You even ask them, the chairman of the district councils. Most of them don't know. Because nobody takes time to research before it goes on.
It so happened that Uncle CD also taught me how to write news. I remember that was in 2015.
Yeah.
When I wrote my script. That was the time I almost ran because my script was torn. Because it never carried any water. And the next time...
Me too, I'm also proud to be one of your products.
Thank you very much.
Very proud to be one of your products.
In fact, by that time when somebody is doing that, you may think it's hating. But if you pick most of these boys who are now very good broadcasters, those who pass through my hands are very, very grateful. Because I will tell you that this is wrong. Now, things like persist now. If somebody wants to say something, he will go round it for 5 minutes. He has not said what it is.
Beating around the bush.
The guy is like, mono, karachiel kede, mono no, karachiel kede, pedu kede kare. Why all this?
Yeah.
Pedu kede kare. There are very many popular broadcasters all over the world. Don't let somebody tell you that broadcasting is such a cheap thing, or if you have to be a broadcaster, you have got to take marijuana, or you have to be a Rastafarian. No! You have got very, very good broadcasters, like Shaka Shalidati in Voice of America. You hear how that man, how knowledgeable that man is if you monitor his program. He interviews different professionals every day, and he has them at his fingertips. Information, his fingertips.
So you mean it's not only marijuana?
Yeah.
Which are
Most youth or most journalists nowadays tend to go on air when they're drunk.
When drunk,
They want to be under the influence of
you are-
alcohol and drugs.
You are Rastafarian. You are so shabby. There is this trousers of yours. I don't know how you call it.
Garment.
You must have some garment. You see, those things, that doesn't take you anywhere. Just in fact, it reduces just your popularity. You may be very popular on air, but when they say, hey, this is the guy.
It's useless.
It's useless. You may feel so perfect on air, but the way you dress, the way you present yourself. In fact, if you are going to a certain party, you might not even be allowed inside. And if you're so popular on air, you see. So these are the things. This mad. In fact, during our times, there was even the opposite. The one good thing about broadcasting is that it opens you the door. Once you are a broadcaster, you can go anywhere in this world. They will just say, oh, that is so and so. It rings a bell in everybody's brain. So this is the guy. Come.
So you have opportunity.
You have
anywhere.
opportunity because of what you have, what you put on air, and how you present yourself.
Only if you're original.
Yes. What you put on air and how you present yourself. Those two are very, very important. Stop joking all over the place and you go out very shabbily dressed because you are a broadcaster or a presenter. No. That is wrong. Thank you very much, young lady.
Thank you so much. Uncle CD is one of the most instrumental personality that everyone would love to be him. Even a young child, on hearing his voice, will be like, I want to be like that man. Thank you so much, my viewers. Thank you so much, viewers of Kennedy Bobie Entertainment. We really appreciate you. You can subscribe to her channel on YouTube. You can like our pages on Facebook or all the social media platforms. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly. Stay home, stay safe.